Well, let's put some meat on the bones, and Tony Mepham, our football correspondent, joins me. Let's deal with Marown first of all. I asked you on Friday Sport if you had an inkling as to anywhere where there might be an upset, and you said, I'm looking at Marown and Douglas Royal, and you were right. Marown 4, Douglas Royal 1.
I think certainly with this one, Tim, 2-0 at half-time, and when you look when the goals were scored, Ryan Dean started it all off on 20 minutes with the first one, then an own goal on 38 just before half-time, just sort of settled the nerves for Marown. Then the golden jewel at the moment for Marown, Ashley Higginbottom, he got 2 goals, one on 53 and one on 78, and Douglas Royal got a consolation goal, 88th minute I've got here, but I haven't got their scorers. So just shows you where Marown are. Disappointed 6 days ago when they lost out in the final of the Woods Cup, but got it right today, and Douglas Royal just shows that they've got a bit of hard work to do, and they're still sort of looking over their shoulder to see if they can survive in the Premier League as well. So not a good day for Royal.
Does that suggest to you that the bottom of the Premier League and the top of Division 2, where there's that almighty scrap going on to come up to the Premier League, there's not too much difference?
Maybe not with one or two clubs, but Douglas Royal are under pressure, and towards the end of the season they've conceded an awful lot of goals, and when you look at that one recently against Douglas Athletic where it was 7-1, that was a big surprise. But when you look at the teams that are around there, Colby are under pressure to stay in the league. You've also got Ramsey as well, so maybe those 2 or 3 clubs, but then when you start going into Douglas Athletic and St John's and others, it becomes a lot more difficult. But you've got to do it on a regular basis, haven't you? And it's like Moran, they let themselves down last Friday. They were the clear favourites to win that Woods Cup, and Paul Rose played well and they lifted the trophy.
They did indeed. Well, let's go through the rest in the alphabetical order. We've got them. Braddon 2, Old Boys 10.
Yeah, good day in the office for Old Boys, and you can see why when you see the goal scorers. 2 apiece for Callum Stewart, Gary Quirk, Chris Coxon, James McStay, Martin King with 1, and Johnny Quirk got the other one. So that's your 10 Old Boys scorers for Braddon. Andy Glover, who's back in there helping things out at the moment, and Connor Dempsey with the other one. But Braddon really struggling, and just to give you a heads up, Tim, we'll do it now, is that Braddon have withdrawn from the Junior Cup tomorrow because they haven't got enough players qualified, because there is a qualification ratio. They've got to have played 5 or more for the combi, and no more than 9 for the first team. So unfortunately, Braddon have been caught out with that one.
Corinthians 7, Castletown 0. All the damage done early doors, really, there, the first half.
Yeah, great performance by Corinthians, and Tom Callister with the first 2 goals and playing really well. Ryan Byrne scored 1 from the penalty spot. Dan Simpson playing in a more unfamiliar role today. Played in that centre-forward role, but did well. But the star, and congratulations to him, because his 18th birthday last Saturday, and what a way to win the FA Cup and also have your 18th birthday as well. He got a hat-trick today. He's a star in the making, this fella, and well done to him. And Castletown just shows where they are, Tim, you know, top or near enough top of Division 2.
They are top,
as well, with Corinthians. They're third now, so there's a big gap, I think, between the top of the Premier League and also the top of Division 2.
Governors Athletic 1, Union Mills 6.
Carl Jackson got the goal for Governors Athletic for Union Mills, an own goal to start it. Then Luke Booth, Carl Uren, Lee Christian, Jack Murray and Tom Kane got the other one.
And it was Laxey 0, Peel 3, a second half show from the Westerners.
Yeah, it was tight up until half time because it was 0-0, and I just wondered what was going on, and had a text message through just to say that there's a few players missing today for Peel. Lee Gale got 2, Johnny Shields got 1. But when you look at people like Dominic McCreevy, Daniel Bell, Matthew Skillico, Mark Kelly, Sean Kelly, were all missing. Andrew Crennel made his first team debut. Nice to see him back, because Andrew's been struggling with illness. It looks as if they've got on top of it now, so that's great to see him there. And Laxey used all 3 subs in the first half, so a bit of a problem for them to get over some injuries, but they held in there. Unfortunately for them, they didn't get through, and Peel go into the hat.
Just going back to that Corinthians one to watch out for on YouTube. I did notice a post from Hattie saying miss of the season for
Sean Doyle?
Yes, it was. So he won't want to be looking at his social
believe
media.
it was a yard out
this evening. Yeah,
it was a yard out, so that's 3 foot.
Hattie
Put it
just
over the
put
bar.
he's definitely posting that one from his highlights. Pulrose 1, Foxdale 3.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one because Pulrose are another team who are looking to get themselves back into the Premier League, and today rested people like Mark Priestnell, Stevie Glover, also Stewie Morris, and give other players a chance to play. And James McGinn was in goal, and I've got to say, pulled off 2 or 3 cracking saves before the penalty was awarded, and then pulled off a penalty save, so well done to them. Owen Canepa got the goal for Pulrose, and it was a good move down the left-hand side. His pace got him through, but his shot was on target, but it took a wicked deflection and caught out the goalkeeper, and there it was, 1-0 at half-time. But then, within 8 minutes, Foxdale were right back into it because they scored 3 goals. Kevin Pullman with the first, Steve Bettridge with the second, and I think it was Andrew Berry who got the third one, so a comfortable victory for Foxdale in the end.
Ramsey Youth Centre 7, Jims 0.
Yeah, I haven't got any goal scorers, Tim. I've checked the phone, there's nothing come through, but Youthy really appreciate Jim's offer of playing this game at Tremode. Game got out of the way, and a good day for them, scoring 7 goals.
I did see Jim's tweet as well that fair play, Youthy are a good side, and they were totally outclassed today. St George's 5, Onken 1, a battling Onken.
It was a battle in Onken, and I've had a message through from David Rees, and I do apologise because that's a couple of times we've given St George's the draw with Onken this year, and he just said, can we have another team in another cup draw? Well, he's going to have to wait till next year, but there's still a chance for Paul Henry, so sure he's chipping away on that one. Joe Roos, good to see him back, bust leg, and he's back playing now. Scored a goal for Onken, but Furu Davies, that's the side of Furu Davies that we like to see. 4 goals by him today, and Joey Morland, still with his black eye, got the other one, so good result for Geordies.
It was, and a good result for St Mary's against Michael, 12-2 at the Bowl.
4-0 at half-time, and for Michael, Paul Atherton got one, Stevie Quayle on the score sheet once again. For St Mary's, Jordan Crawley with a hat-trick, Nathan Halsall with 2. Kirill Vilev got one.
Just emphasise there, they took him out of goal because they'd run out of substitutes. They'd all been used, so he had to play outfield, and they had to put a keeper on
and he scored
as
2.
a substitute, and he went and scored 2, one of which was a penalty, I'm told.
Get in there. Well done to him. And we've got Carl Clark on the score sheet, Josh Molyneux, John Haggerden, Brian Crellin, and we're missing a name, Stevie Priestnell.
Yeah.
Always gets one, doesn't he?
He had to go off injured.
12 goals. Did he?
Yeah.
That's a shame because, Stevie's an important player for them, but great performance by St Mary's. And, Michael have seen one of the better teams in the Premier League.
You wouldn't think that Kirill would have scored 2 and Steve Priestnell only 1, wouldn't you, in a 12-goal route from
maybe
St
Steve
Mary's.
needs to go in goal and we'll leave Kirill out.
St John's 4, Ramsey 1.
Yeah, I haven't got, or have I, got the goal scorers through, because this was tight as well. It was 2-1 at half-time, and then, St John's got it together, and there were a few players missing today. Yes, we've got the goal scorers through. Paul Whitehead it was with a hat-trick, and Jamie Moffat, good to see him back because he's been missing for a couple of weeks, got the other goal. So, yep, good result that for St John's, and rectifies the one that they played in a couple of weeks ago where it finished up St John's and Ramsey sharing the points.
I didn't hear. Did you give the Uni Mills scorers?
Uni Mills goal scorers, yes, we did.
OK, we'll move on. Canada Live Premier League, Douglas Athletic 1, Russian 5, Russian up to second spot.
This was a tight game. At half-time, it was 1-0 to Douglas Athletic. They're playing well. They do play that small pitch to their advantage. And Martin Cowan got the goal for Athletic. And even in the second half, they were sticking with it. But then Russian got it together. And the first goal, the equaliser, scored by Mikey Williams. Josh Kelly got 2. Jamie Johnston got 1. And Charlie Jackson got his name on the score sheet as well. So, as you say, Russian move into second place ahead of Corinthians, I think it is.
It is, but obviously Corinthians and St George's with games in hand. JCK Limited Division 2, Maloo 5, Douglas and District 1.
Douglas and District's goal scorer was Daniel Stewart Clegg, but Maloo led at half-time 4-1. Josh Clark with 2, Dan McLaughlin got a goal, Kieran Kreipner, and Jack Gilbert with the other one, so another good result for Maloo. Yeah,
we just had a text in from Ballasalla. They were 3 up after 11 minutes, so that's flying out the traps, isn't it? And pretty happy with the performance. They are down there.